Howdy, Ramblers. So today we want to talk a little bit to you about conservation. Wetlands conservation, to be exact.
And it's not just a conservation and protection issue, but it's really an environmental quality issue as well.
That's because the wetlands act as an ecological filter, as well as a reservoir for plant and animal life.
In their favor, it's not very easy to build or farm on a marsh, and you can't easily walk or drive over one without altering it. Well, here's the complicated part. Because they don't attract development right away, they end up being relatively low-valued land, and eventually it becomes enough land is used up around the wetlands that it actually becomes attractive for people to fill them in or alter them in another way in order to get cheap land.
It's interesting that the very thing that helps maintain the wetlands early on can be the incentive that cities have to alter the wetlands once the city starts to grow.
With over 7 million people in the surrounding area, the rivers, creeks, marshes, and the water of the bay itself are no stranger to these environmental stressors.
The bay's harbors have been a center of trade for a long time, and the cities that ring around that area have been a huge engine of culture and commerce.
In the shadow of the great container ships are fishermen, fisheries, boaters, kayakers, swimmers, who all appreciate and need the waters to be clean and the ecosystems to be healthy. And then there's also untold numbers of visitors who come and can still see the bay as a really interesting place where nature and civilization sort of intermesh.
The bay is more than that, though. It's the identity of the place that's the thing. It ties everybody that lives here together, and even the iconic bridges are just a human reflection of the bay's dramatic straits.
Because of that, the people here have a real urge to dig in and walk that line between the necessity of urban development and the need to preserve nature and not spoil something beautiful like the bay. We want to talk now about one group in particular who's been working for years to protect the bay and its waters, and also to be an advocate for the bay itself and the people who appreciate it.
Founded in 1961 by 3 East Bay women, their first real action in Save the Bay was in challenging the city of Berkeley's plan to double in size by infilling bay shallows.
It was a sea change in regional attitudes and eventually led to a moratorium on infill 4 years later, and after that, the creation of one of the first coastal management agencies.
Through the years, Save the Bay has championed the restriction of shoreline garbage dumps, raw sewage flow, and the restoration of saw ponds, and weigh in on the protection of the bay's sister and source, the delta of the Sacramento and San Joaquin rivers. True to their origin, they've kept a critical eye on attractive but contentious infill projects, and more recently are working to reduce plastic trash in the wetlands and restore native plants in previously damaged areas.
As people who live here and canoe and fish on bay waters, we really appreciate the people that came before us have worked to preserve this jewel and not let it be turned into a polluted scar.
Save the Bay is exactly the kind of conservation group that we would encourage people to volunteer for and donate to. We've been to replant native grasses, and it was actually really educational and super fun.
If you don't live in the Bay Area, chances are there are local waters or wetlands near you that could benefit from some appreciation or attention. And whether it's here or there, wetland conservation protects not only the plants and animals, but the people and the waters that we're interacting with.
Well, I think that's something that people can get behind. But what if I don't have any time or money, but I still want to help save the bay?
Well, you're in luck because a couple of donors have set up a cool thing where you can go online and play a trivia game, and you'll learn a little bit about the bay and about conservation. And in return for every person that plays the game, they'll donate $1.
There you go. So you don't even need any money. You just need to have some time to play a quick game.
Yeah, we'll post a link to that in the description, and we'll also in the description post links to how you can donate or learn more about Save the Bay.
And if you have any good conservation stories that you'd like to share with us, post them in the comments.
And this is our contribution as far as YouTube's Project for Awesome.
Woo!
And so we also recommend, and we'll post a link, check out Project for Awesome. It's a whole slew of videos made by YouTube creators, and they're all supporting different charities and nonprofits, and you can go on there and you'll find a whole host of things that are interesting ways that people are fighting to decrease world suck.
Awesome. So until next time,
ramble on.